We're here. We're here. We've got the school hat on. But yes, welcome to the episode. I appreciate you stopping by on number 6. That means we are 4 more away from the Big 10, which is a big thing. Wanted to start off by... I'm going to turn this music off while we're... I wanted to start off by saying thank you to everybody that has been consuming the short form content. I've just noticed like 1,000 views on some. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the support that you've been giving me. It's kind of given me the momentum to keep going and keep making this podcast. You know, documenting my journey. I know that's WhatsApp just going off, but don't worry about that. But other than that, you know, it is super cool to have you around. But yeah, today's theme, as I've just said, dealing with haters and negativity on the entrepreneurial journey, because like I just said like 5 minutes ago, you're gonna get hate whatever you do, like whether you're on like an entrepreneurial journey or you're just gonna get hate. Like hate's, it's just a harsh word, but you're gonna get hate for doing anything basically. You're gonna get hate for, you know, looking at someone funny, you know. That's what happens. But yeah, the main point of this episode is to talk about how we deal with haters. How do we deal with negativity, and also the online trolls as an entrepreneur, creator, musician, anything that you have to be public facing for on the internet. How do you deal with that hate? So I am going to start by saying that, you know, negativity and criticism is going to always be there. It's a thing. It's not something that you'll always be criticized, or someone will always not like something that you're doing. And yeah, you know, you'll always be criticized for that. And you're going to get it if you like it or not. the TLDR from me is you're gonna get hate, you're gonna get criticism, even if you like it or not. So this is funny because I have mentioned this in the Valkence family podcast, but also I'm going to mention it in this because it's a really good anecdote. So, you know, big shout out to Matt, like who like sat down and like laughed with me about this. So what happened was we push out a lot of short form content, we push out a lot of short form content for this podcast. You know, on my Instagram, on my YouTube Shorts, you know, all the major short form content platforms. You know, we have the one side of people, you know, the people that are really loving it, you know, comment really positive things, you know. If you're listening or watching this live or wherever you're watching this, you know, big props to you for giving me all the support and the love on it. And then you get the other like kind of majority 50% where it's just the people that just are just saying horrible stuff just because they can. And it's and it kind of, and a lot of people at first, when they get hate or negativity in their life, the first thing they do kind of is to kind of overreact to it and go, well, Bob says I'm rubbish at music. And then you feel sad and you feel down, and then you know what happens there, you know, you go and go, well, maybe what Bob says is true. And that's when that's the no. That's no, you shouldn't be doing that. So back to that point is, if someone says something about, like, but this goes back to my point, I'll go to the next point, but basically in the story, like in the story, so we obviously put out this reel or this YouTube short. It was YouTube shorts. And what happened was, like, we saw like, well, okay, 400 views. That's probably the best post we've seen. And I think it's about me. I was coming with the point of procrastination is quality control. Yeah, basically, I said that perfectionism is procrastination disguised as quality control. And people didn't like me saying that because, they didn't like it. I think I've got the comments. I will there we go. Yeah, Matt's just messaging me now, but I'm pulling up the actual thing that we had. Um, so let me see if I can find it so I can read it out. I know I'm on my phone, but I actually want to read it out. Um, oh, actually, two of them, just for the flavor. Um, so I'm not gonna out these people. It's not who I am, but this is one of them. This is probably the biggest crock of shit I've heard on YouTube Shorts. Well, thank you for watching the clip. And then another guy said, bro is onto nothing with the fire emoji. Well, I don't know whether you enjoyed it or whether you didn't. Just a TLDR, if you put fire emojis on anything, I don't know whether you like it or not. So I'm just going to assume you did. Um. Da, 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 da. There we go. Just up. So what's happening is like I've got everyone going, hey, can you do this? Ooh, there we go. But back to my point is, you know, that's what happened. It was those people were hating on me. So how I reacted to it was classic. So I'll pull up the message that I said. Um, like I responded to it like, don't know whether you're hating. Like I said this to Matt. I was like, I don't know whether you're hating or thinking this is fire. And Matt said he's trying to say you're saying a lot, but a lot of nothing basically, which is completely wrong. So but I just replied with, yeah, makes me chuckle, and I just put fucking hilarious though. um, so you know they never really give any constructive criticism. That's the problem. And normally they are fabricating their own issues onto you. Well, that's why a lot of my that's why a lot of people go, well, you're shit at this, or you're better than me, and they hate you because you're better than them. It's because they never made the effort to actually follow their dreams and and you know but like this is kind of my step plan on how I deal with hate. I Before, as a music producer, I've felt a bit upset and stuff and gone, oh, but now I just have like a four 3-step plan. Actually, I was like going which number do I want, and I was like, I'm gonna get 3-step plan. So basically, if it's something that I agree with, like if someone goes, Jack, you've got ginger hair, the thing and if it's something I agree with and I know I can't change and that's how it is, I'll just go, okay, you're right. I have got ginger hair. That's how I do it. But if it's something that's like, I don't like your music because it's rubbish and it's not my style, I go, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe my music is shit. Like, so my mentality is always to take it one up, like take what they say, one up it, and basically then they go, I wasn't expecting that. So basically, just that's how I initially deal with hate. So yeah. So yeah, negativity and criticism is always going to be there. It's always going to happen. You're gonna get it all across the board. You're going to get it when you start, where you literally got nothing, and you can have it when you're doing well and doing successful. People are going to criticize you for doing things wrong or stuff, and then even when you're like you say you've made it and you're doing really well, people are still going to criticize what you're doing anyway. So you know the good quote is, no matter how great your idea is, there are always going to be critics. Or I like to say, my quote, like my TLDR is, you know, like if like I forgot what the quote is, but it's something like if it's a really good, like it's almost similar to what the script is, but it's like if they've already done the idea before you have, then there's no point in criticizing them. Because that's why I do all my ideas, and everyone goes, "Damn, that's a really good idea. Wish I did that." And I'm like, you see. Um, so haters and trolls, we're gonna call them as they are. They're always going to be lurking around the internet, or I funnily enough call them keyboard warriors because all they seem to do is type for days, and as soon as you say the wrong thing, they're giving you a 4-page essay on what you did wrong. Um, so as for the mental and emotional well-being, as I said in like a previous episode of the podcast, I am not a mental health practitioner. Um, I'm just going off how I deal with things and how it affects my mental health. So if you are struggling with this kind of stuff, please go and see a professional. It will do you the world of good because it's nice to talk it out, basically. So yeah. So as for being a creator, like the emotional and mental well-being can kind of get drained because having that constant I always like to say constant pressure. So imagine you as a bottle of fizzy drink, and maybe you're just nice and chill, nothing's happening, everything's fine. But the more hate, and I'll say that whole haters and trolls are like the pressure. So the more pressure you're building on that bottle, the more the more you shake that bottle up, the more you're gonna burst, and it can be really draining because you start playing into their what they're saying. So it's like, well, maybe my podcast isn't doing so well. Maybe my website isn't doing so well. Maybe the business that I've set up isn't making me enough money that I want to, or they're criticizing me because of the way I'm doing something. So it's about like I like to say, just shut. It's very hard to. It's very easy to say, very hard to do. And that'll be my TLDR for this like part of the podcast is very easy to do. Like, it's like really easy to say, but it's really hard to do. Like when someone says, "Oh, just shut your brain off." Well, one, you can't shut your brain off because I'm no medical expert. You'll probably not be you won't be able to do anything if you just shut your brain off. But kind of just block it out, or kind of like what we said. Take what they say, like one up them, or just go, yeah, maybe you're right. I don't care. Like what I do, but it also affects this kind of hate and this negativity. It can affect your motivation because maybe you don't want to stream, maybe you don't want to do that business meeting, maybe you just don't want to do anything because it's like, well, they've made me feel rubbish and now I don't want to do anything. Um, and I like to say, well, the line I always say to everybody, like in work, and I'll start saying it in Valkence for all the family members as well, is if you're gonna have a good day, if you're gonna have a bad day for no reason, you can have a good day for no reason. So if you can go out and do and do like good work, but like the way I put it is like if you can go out and do something you really don't want to do and still have a good day, that's a win. So it's like it means then you can do you can do something that sucks, and then you know you can still do great work, have a bad day, and it's like on the good day you can do something that like really really sucks, but you still have a great day. That's how I see things like that. But yeah, about so the good one is we're going to talk about like kind of the importance of not taking it personally, and I think that goes back to my point of take what they say, one up, do whatever. So basically, like negativity, like don't take it personal because, like we said before, it's just a manifestation of their insecurities, their problems onto you, but it isn't actually a reflection of you as a person. They're just taking it out on you because they never did the things you did, or they never thought, oh, maybe I want to try out this new thing and see what happens. And I think that's me as a person as well. It's like a lot of my little decisions on the micro are all break shit and find out. And then the big major decisions are the big, like, let's plan this, let's do this kind of stuff. But yeah, you should focus on the goals. Like, remember, like what we said before, remember your why. Why are you doing this? What's the initial point? Like, I like to say the initial point of entry. Like, why did you start doing the podcast, the business, the streaming, the music? Like, why? Well, why did you start? Like, that's what I also remember. You also remember those goats, like the goals that you set. Well, I want to really get my first 10 viewers. Cool. Like, remembering those little goals you set, because remember, as I like to say, it's not their journey, it's yours. So don't let people, backseat, like, kind of backseat tell you how to, like, do certain things. That's why I don't have anyone tell me. Like, I have people that tell me how to do stuff in terms of, like, the business side and the music side, but they don't tell me how to run it. They just give me the advice, and I take it like a pinch of salt and goes, cool, your advice. Either I'm going to use it or I'm not. It's just going to be, it's just going to be there. But yeah, and the quote, yeah, going back to the fact that most negativity is just reflections of their issues or problems, not yours, and is definitely not a reflection on you. So if someone is doing that, just remember that it's a them. It's a, or as I like to say, it's a you. It's a them problem, not a you problem. Yeah, I got to get my words out right there. So we're gonna go into kind of the mindset, and mindset's always is a very very big thing about this podcast. Um, Before anyone starts, I am not gonna write a book. I don't plan to write a book. Don't plan to write a book anytime soon about mindset and the whole shebang. But the importance of developing resilience during all this kind of kind of this criticism and negativity is it's like how you deal with it. Like, so how you, like, I often say, like, if you're if a problem comes your way, how do you actually deal with that problem? Like, do you go, well, no, I can't do it, and then panic, or do you just go, okay, this problem's happened, okay, cool. It's about how you deal with specific situations, and hate is one of those things that it's about playing the game essentially. So if someone throws hate at you, you just go, either you're going to agree and go, yeah, maybe I am rubbish at making music, but I still good. I still love it. Or you're going to go, well, actually, I am really good at music. You know, I think there's a meme that I really love where it's like a load of massive people in like an area, and it's like one of them is like, you're all wrong. And that's me in every situation. I always say, you're all wrong. Or the favorite line is 99% like wrong, like 100% wrong all the time. Um, so yeah, by building such a thick skin to deal with such hate and negativity, it helps you to stay focused because you're focused more on doing the things that's going to keep the ball rolling. And that's what you want to be doing, is that ball needs to keep rolling. You don't want to keep having you don't want to keep having setbacks, and you know having setbacks and stuff like that pushes you back, and then you're like, well, did I move anywhere with this? No, I just stayed where I am. Like, you didn't do anything. You let them dictate how you run your business or how you do X, Y, and Z. It's just, you do you, is the big TLDR. Like, there's a lot of TLDRs today, so I wish I have a TLDR counter just going ding. But yeah, this one is kind of the case of, you do you. Don't let them tell you what to do. So emotional resilience is a big thing. I am still on my journey about emotional resilience, even though I come across as quite positive and smiley. It is a lot of this is my, like, me journaling, because none of the big people that I look up to, they never really journaled this kind of stuff. So I'm journaling my mindset, my journey, so that you can kind of come back and, how does Jack deal with certain things, and you can apply a little bits of my kind of my mindset to your own, and do cool stuff with it. But emotional resilience, focusing self-worth, personal growth. So for me, I know how much I'm worth, not in the sense of monetary value, but I know how much I'm worth to people, like how much I mean to people, um, especially when people, the people that I'm friends with, they go, well, I think you're pretty cool because you do music. And I always ask the deep question with people. I go, well, why are we friends? And it's really funny because I watched them get frustrated about it, because I listened to them get frustrated, because I go, well, why are we friends? Like, go on, tell me. And then it's like, well, try it on your, like, the takeaway from this is go to one of your, like, pull up one of your friends on your phone or whatever, or Messenger or whatever, or a friend that you meet, and just go up to them and say, well, why are we friends? And they'll be like, we're friends because I think you're cool. But then you'll be like, well, no, let's break that down. Well, why are we friends? And then they'll get frustrated. They'll think about it, get frustrated, and then they'll come up with an answer. Like for me, I did this to one of my friends. I said, well, why are we friends? And they went, well, I think you're a pretty cool guy. And I went, let's just take that apart a bit more. Why are we friends? And he was like, well, I I'm friends with you because you're a loyal, kind, friendly. You're a pleasure to be with. I went, that's what we're friends. It annoyed him, but it was funny. But yeah, it's about that, is, knowing your self worth and asking those deep questions that help you get to those answers. And for personal growth, is investing time in, I like to call it you time. Personal development, like reading books. Like I think I read like 1 to 2 books a week now. Or at least I read a chapter a day. I read a chapter a day, or maybe like 1 to 2 books a week. So I try and read books, listen to podcasts, try and do productive stuff that helps moving the ball forward. But yeah, I also surround myself with positive influences. So people like Matt, people like the Valkence family, people that I see, at home, outside, basically the people that really want to benefit from my time and my positivity. I'm a big ball of sunshine, really. I think I'm gonna make next meme I put up for this podcast is the what's it called? The Teletubby sunshine, but I'll Photoshop my face inside. Yeah, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. But as an actionable tip that you can kind of take away, I always try to make sure these podcasts are full of things that you can take away, TLDRs, everything you can take away, go and use, write down, do whatever you want with them. So I'm going to suggest to you, like, engaging in activity that boosts kind of your confidence and self-esteem. And what I say by that is, like, doing stuff that really. I'm no scientist by any means. Like, I can say I'm a computer scientist because I did my day job is basically knowing how computers work, the science around computers. But as for like the human body, like when you do that kind of physical exercise or stuff that you really enjoy, it releases like endorphins, and then you're more like, and then the more you keep doing it, then you're like, well, I really love doing it, so it's really making me happy. You just keep doing it. So some things that I would suggest trying if you haven't already. Journaling is a big one. I do that a lot. You can write down anything. I try and do what three things I'm grateful for. Write down how I'm feeling for the day. Get things off my chest. Meditation, super cool. Really, really love that, and really cool on that front with meditation. Just, I think I listened to wake. Let me see what I listened to. let me have a look. Let me have a look. What is it? What is it? What is it? Waking Up with Sam Harris. Super cool. I listen to that every morning. But also I have like a timer and I just do meditation. And physical exercise. I can tell you now, like I do physical exercise. I'm not as jacked as Chris Hemsworth or anybody. I'm just happy that I go to the gym, do some things, do some reps. That's it. That's it. I do the bare minimum. Not the bare minimum, but I do enough that I like go. I've made effort. Like I've made effort. Like I ain't gonna be shredded after lifting one weight because that'd be a little bit of a cheat code that. But yeah, try and do things that boost your confidence, self esteem. Some other ones that I could recommend are gardening. Like since I've been doing this week, I've just been going out in the garden and watering the plants. Like honestly, like so therapeutic, and I actually love it. I'm just gonna like it's really nice. It's really nice to do, and it's really positive as well. But on to my kind of next part of my big book. This is like one big book actually, like a big audio visual book. Who knows? We might actually turn all these episodes into one big book. One big book, and then put it on Audible. That's the dream. That's what we'll do with the Amplify Your Ambition podcast. Turn it into one big audio book that you can just listen to in one consecutive sitting. um, but yeah, on to maintaining a positive mindset. So we've kind of talked about how you build one, and now you initially get the building blocks and start building. Well, it's like let's look a little bit ahead of the curve. Like let's look at kind of how once you've built the mindset, how are you going to maintain it? Because it's like with every building, once you build the building, you're going to have to maintain the building, or the building's just going to fall down, and you're going to go, well, that was a great building. That was a great building. That did well. Every famous, yeah, that's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's like they built that and just let it, and then they went, oh well, we'll just let it fall over. But the power of positive thinking and how that impacts how you handle negativity has kind of a positive correlation. And scientists and all sorts of people are going to start ringing me up going, Jack, what did you say? But I think there is a positive correlation with how you handle it. So the more positive you are, the more you're likely to go, oh, well, thanks, dude. Like, thanks for saying that. Like, you really mean it? Like, for everyone that just says that to me, it's like, anyone that sends hate to me, I'm just like, thanks, man. Do you really mean that? Like, do you really mean what you're saying to me? And they're like, yeah, I really mean it. I'm like, thanks. I really appreciate it. I've took your opinion on board. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. But yeah, definitely the mindsets can turn, like positive mindsets specifically, they can turn challenges into opportunities. So if someone says, let's do a good example here. So let's say I like I get rejected by a record label. They say, nope, don't want to sign your music. It's not for us. But there's another label that we know another label that might like the music. And we'll see there, instead of going, I got rejected by this label, I'm now going to be upset for a couple of days because I got rejected by the label I really want to sign on. But there's like a saying, like they know if there's like another label that they own or something, and go, well, I think your music fits that more than the main one. It's like you've just opened yourself an opportunity there by flipping your mindset, going, well, hang on, we can then go to this label, then pivot back up to that label. Opportunities, it's how it's like how you deal with that situation. If you basically look at it as like someone, I go through like people telling me no, but then again, I'm used to getting people to tell me no. Like customers, parents, they'll always tell you no, like just by default. It's like the default. if my mum and dad are like listening or watching this podcast, hi, I know you're always saying no, but you're doing it for the goodness and kindness of your heart. But yeah, like teachers, parents, bosses, customers, they'll always tell you no. But as long as you go, well, how can we then go doing, just see what opportunities you can take out of the words no. And no most of the time doesn't mean no. It just means they're not sure. That's what I find out personally. It's like they're just saying it because they're not sure. So I'm just like, sometimes I give them like a day and they then go, I wasn't sure that I was saying no. So I changed my mind. And I was like, cool, don't worry. So we're going to talk about strategies again, as we always do, for staying positive during basically, if criticism comes your way, you should be able to like have this as like a toolkit and go, I can fight this criticism. I don't mean go out and fight every bit of criticism you've ever got, because constructive, like I'll say this as the TLDR, another TLDR. Criticism, constructive criticism, is not there to go and attack you, attack what you believe in, your well-being, all that stuff, because some people think constructive criticism is just going, you're rubbish, and you're like, great, now I feel horrible. Or that meme I saw today, I feel terrible, but I feel fast after I've had a Red Bull. But yeah, constructive criticism is meant to be positive. So, like, you'll get that a lot. So, constructive criticism, it helps to build you a better person. Maybe you aren't good at something, but they're going to say, you're not good at this, but I know how you're going to be better. That's how I see constructive criticism. So, first thing, do mindfulness practices, try and get yourself in a positive mindset, like what we said, if you can have a bad day for no reason, have a good day for no reason, just always, or I always wake up thinking I'm going to have a good day. Like I see waking up in the morning as like a good day. Like you woke up, you logged onto your 9 a.m. meeting and you said good morning to people. You're having a good day, even though something catastrophic might come up, and you could have something catastrophic go on, but you'd still have a good day. So having them, and I think journaling super cool. I think Matt, you were big, like Matt is Matt has always told me to do manifestation, all the not spooky stuff, because it's not like I'm doing spooky stuff. It's one of those things that I say is manifestation, affirmations as well. I don't mean go to the mirror and go, I'm hot, I'm sexy. I mean, I might do that, but those manifestations will be on, or those affirmations, they'll be on Valkence Plus. But no, I mean, like having the, like, those affirmations that make you feel positive and, you're going to go out and crush the day, basically. I always tell everyone that they're going to go and crush the day, and I always tell them, if you're going to have a bad day for no reason, have a good day for no reason. And yeah, making sure you're surrounding yourself with supportive people. Like what we said in that podcast, other episodes of the podcast, is don't just have the first person that comes into your life, because if they're saying, I'm here to support you, and don't genuinely show how they support you, get rid, chuck them away, boom, chuck them away. No. If basically you want them there if you're winning, you want them there if you're losing, and you want to be there, they'll be there when you're only having a good day, and having there when you're having a bad day, and they don't just jump off when it's convenient for them. I like to call them my ride or dies. Like Matt's one of my ride or dies, like the Valkence family's ride or dies, everybody supporting me, even the people that consume my content, even though I don't personally talk to them as often, or I've never met them, I consider you, ride or dies. So there you go. Feel honored. So, and I think making sure that you practice gratitude daily, like being like what I do in my journaling, which is another tip to do, is write down what you're grateful for. Like, I'm grateful for the opportunities that I've got doing music and streaming and podcasting. I'm also grateful for the friends that I have. I'm also grateful that I get to wake up every morning, because sometimes people don't, the little bit of darkness there. Some people just don't wake up the next day. Or some people, or I'm grateful that I have people that actually care when I'm feeling down and they've got my back when I'm not feeling great. It's stuff like that. Being grateful for the things you've got, and yeah, it's one of those things that you need to do. Just keep doing and thinking about. Um, and making sure, and I think this is the big one that we've always covered in all the episodes throughout, which I'll keep reiterating that point to hammer home, is make sure you celebrate your small wins. So I think small wins is like what we said, getting up out of bed. I think making a cup of coffee in the morning, if that brings you some smile in your day, cool. I think smiling at someone in the morning, I like saying good morning to people, like at work and stuff like that. I go good morning, and it just knowing that they say good morning to you, just because you know you want to make their day as much as like they make your day a little bit happier, because things don't always go the way we want it, but we'll get on. But yeah, small wins. Remember, and I always like to say, small wins add up to basically a big win. So basically, like a snowball effect. So the more small wins you've got, you can then have a big win, and then the snowball keeps building, and you can measure. And I think that's a great quote I heard, was you can measure success based on your past wins. So yeah, just like all those little things that you've done, like, oh, I've set up the business, or I actually took my first like business meeting. Like for me, it was like, oh, I put out my first song. Well, we start off everywhere, and then I went, okay, I got better at mixing. Then my music started getting better, and then I started releasing more with labels, and then that all of it just skyrocketed basically. So yeah, that's a good thing. Gonna have a quick drink break. Um, But as always, if you are enjoying the podcast, all the episodes so far are available all on your favorite streaming service of choice, however you consume this. I thought I'd throw that in there while I'm just having a breather. Um, Maintaining a positive mindset, we've covered. Turning negativity into motivation. So this is often what I say is kind of how you take that. So treat your business, music, streaming, whatever you're doing, as like a car, and obviously you can keep the car like running with the positivity and all that kind of stuff. So how do you turn negativity of people going, oh, your streams are rubbish, your music's rubbish, or the business isn't working, how do you turn that into motivation? And I like to say, like, I treat negativity as fuel. So the more people are going, oh, I don't like this, I don't like what you're doing, I'm just using it as going, I'm going to prove you wrong. Like a little bit like the you're all wrong, but I'm right kind of thing. So I like to do that. So yeah, criticism is a good fuel for motivation and improvement, because criticism's just like wind beneath your feet. So it's just going to push you to do better. So if someone says, "Well, you're not at 1,000 followers yet," well, I'm going to be there. You just have to then just remember, take what they say, one up it, and you're like, maybe you're right. Maybe I won't get to 1,000 followers, but I'm gonna try anyway. Like proving them wrong, and I love proving people wrong, because then they go, "I'm sorry that I proved you wrong," or like not them, but I remember success is the best type of revenge. I'm not doing it to prove them wrong, because they'll just go, "Oh, I'm so sorry for you tried to prove me wrong." I'm just making them then kind of going, "This is where I am now. This is you. You said something, I took what you said, and then look at me, I'm where I want to be." So we're going to share some stories. So successful entrepreneurs, kind of, who turn their negativity into a driving force for success. Many top entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs, basically they like just like you and me, who get criticism about doing anything. Um, they face the same kind of harsh criticism, but they used to refine their vision, refine their vision. And look at Steve Jobs; he refined his vision, and now Apple's like a billions of dollars company, and they make loads of like tech. So, um, you know, the criticism paid off. Everything has a payoff or an end goal. Like criticism is one of the things that the more criticism you get, it's going to pay off, and you're going to see higher reward. Um, how do we overcome this negativity, and how do we respond to it constructively? Because I like to think it is a as a series of inputs outputs. So if you're just going to take in the negative input and negative and output negativity, that's not what you want to be doing. So you want to learn how to differentiate between constructive criticism and just negativity where it's just baseless and it's just like they're just saying it because they can and have got a keyboard, or they're just saying it because they're trying to manifest like their problems and issues on you because they never did it. So you just learn how to filter out the noise. So, like, and you focus on the feedback that grow. Maybe you aren't going to be good at some things, but asking people like, "Hey, why am I not good at this thing?" And they might go, "Oh, I don't think you've been trained on it, but we can then arrange you to get trained on it." And it's like, cool, 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 cool. That having that, and you know practical tips for this is when you take constructive criticism, you want it to then also be something that promotes growth. So you always thank the person for their input. So anytime that like someone says, I think you could be better at marketing your music. Okay, cool. I really appreciate your input on that. I'm not a great. You know I understand myself that I'm not a great marketer or social media marketer. I have no background in marketing. You know, I'm just, testing the waters as such. But, I will use your improvements. I'm going to try and do SEO, run ads, all the cool stuff to make sure that we get, you know, basically the music to grow, basically. um, some good points here. Ignoring the haters. So this is my favorite one because I love this episode because I deal with. I think anyone that's a business owner, like an entrepreneur, creative streamer, or like musician or anything, we get mental reps over this. So we'll anyone that's saying you're getting hated on, and we're like, nah, we got plenty of reps on this. We know how to deal with this. We get this all the time. We know how to deal with this. So it's all about not engaging with them, trolls and haters, because they don't provide any value. Like, remember, they don't provide any feedback that gives you any value back to do anything. And that's one of the weird things. Like, they don't give you any value. So you're like, well, thanks, you didn't do anything. So, like what we said, they only drain your energy and they take your focus away. So it's about going like what I did, kind of in that story at the start, where I said I didn't reply to them. I just sat and laughed and went, "Thanks for watching." Basically, thanks for watching the content. You've just done me a favor, um, you know, and if you're one of those people that trolls and these negative influences are coming up more and more often, which they will the more success you get. I wish I had a graph right now, but the more success, like I always like to think, the more success you're gonna get, like the more hate you're gonna get. So if you're like number one, 4 billion followers on Instagram, you're gonna get more hate than like your nan who's got one follower on Instagram. First of all, if anyone's got their nan on Instagram, props, because they've just come out of the dark ages of the internet. They've only just got on the internet. I remember the time of dial-up. So yeah, making sure that you use social media tools to your advantage. So blocking comments that you don't want to see, or just muting negative commenters. Also, you can limit comments, but I wouldn't do that unless you're like knowing that. But also, don't hesitate to delete those harmful comments, because as we said before, it can hurt. It can hurt, and it can get to you sometimes. So yeah, we're running near to the last half. Well, not half, but near the end of the podcast. This episode. But yeah, about building a positive online presence is, you should cultivate this online presence that's positive and, overshadows negativity. That's why I try and come across as laid back and really happy and nice to people, and laid back and full of energy and kind to people, because, I like to come off as a golden retriever as such. Having that strong online presence that helps you build fans that are gonna also want to see you win, but also be there when you're going, I'm not going to stream today because I'm not feeling great. Oh, cool. But we still love you because you're still putting content out. Cool. um, so I think things that you can do to, engage with them positively and build that support is be authentic. So as I like to say, don't try and be the next XYZ because don't be the next XYZ because the thing is it's not you. It's not you essentially. So when someone says, I want to be the next Martin Garrix, well, you're not going to be the next Martin Garrix because Martin's Martin. Like, be you. Like, what makes you unique to like someone? I always like to do the comparison is like what makes me unique to someone that's already famous, and it's like, well, that's why they can't be me because it's unique to me. Making sure that you share your journey as well. So like keeping that going, so documenting like what I'm doing here, documenting my journey from when I started to kind of now, so that people can look back and go, he really made some progress. And always making sure you actively engage with your followers and commenting, saying thank you a lot, and being grateful for the support that they give on your content, whether it's short form, whether it's long form, whether it's music, whether it's streaming, all the cool stuff. And kind of the last bit is kind of the support system bit. And I think we talk about a lot about support, and support's a big thing, especially when you're in this entrepreneurial, in this kind of, you know, creator space as well. Specifically, like me in music, you need a lot of support. So, having that support system of mentors, advisors, and people like other creators, entrepreneurs for emotional support, they know how you they feel. They know they might have been on that. They've been in that same boat, or they've had different experiences to you. So by calling upon them and going, "Hey, I'm having a tough time like doing this. How do you think I should do it?" It's like, "Oh, just do that and see if it works." So yeah, also having the strong support system that can also provide valuable perspective and encouragement, because they're basically going to root for you to do what you want to do and push forward. And you could always, you know, finding resources for mentors and online communities and networking events. I like to go to networking events just because, one, I'm highly introverted and funny enough, don't like people, and it's very hard to talk to people when you're like, when your social anxiety kicks in. But look for local entrepreneur groups, online forums, industry events, just to build your network. Like, you don't have to go in and go like pitch them anything. Just go and talk to them, because they are real people too. They don't always want to talk about business or music or streaming all the time. It's just like, talk to them. Like, just talk to them about how their day is, like what they're into. Like, honestly, super good. And a little few bonus topics. I thought I'd add a bonus topic in here. Self care is a big thing. I practice self care a lot. It's something you should probably consider. You don't have to do it. It's an optional thing. But self care practices maintains that well being. So it's not a luxury. It's more of a necessity for long term success. So when you understand that you will get burnt out sometimes, having those breaks and going, cool, we can just pivot again. We'll just pivot again. And for my self-care stuff, don't copy my schedule, because my schedule's all over the place. But for me, is like, I schedule regular breaks, but I also have dedicated work blocks, so that I maximize the most work for me, and then also have the times where I can just be like super chill and can be like stuff that I want to be in. So scheduling those regular breaks, whether it's like 15 minutes to go for a walk or something, make a coffee, also maintaining a healthy diet. I'm not going to go through that. I'm not a dietitian here, but making sure you prioritize sleep and making sure you're getting the right amount of sleep too. But and another bonus topic, because I'm making sure this is full of super good content. About learning and keeping like yourself going and learning. So like continuously learning, adapting to the feedback and market conditions. Um, you know, if there's a new trend that's coming up, you adapt to it. You don't. I like to play, like, the line I like to say is play into trends. Don't copy the trend, because you might look at the trend. Like, if you play into the trend and do something that's unique within the trend, you're gonna probably like skyrocket. And you know you want to do things for what you believe in. Don't do it for the trend and do it for the views and stuff, because that's pandering, and no one likes pandering. It's I don't like pandering. Um, but also, the business world, the tech world, all the little industries are always evolving. So also staying informed and reading the news around it is good to stay relevant and keep up with things. And also, keeping that personal development that we mentioned before, and the education is, online courses, webinars, and publications for the industry, just to keep your skills sharp and basically be ahead of the game, basically. And, be I like to say, an advantage. If you know something that other people don't, you've got an advantage, and you are going to be more likely to succeed. But, quick drink break before the outro. So, a few key takeaways from, episode 6. Negativity and haters are definitely a part of this journey. You cannot get rid of them. I will say that now. But with the right mindset and strategies that we've discussed in this episode, you can overcome them and thrive, basically. So obviously, remember that criticism is just a part of this journey. Can't get rid of it. Remember that it's not a reflection of you. It's just them reflecting and manifesting their issues onto you, because they never did something. Stay focused, stay positive about it, and keep pushing forward. Whatever you're doing great. You're doing awesome, and keep crushing it. You're gonna crush it. But I also really encourage you guys, if you are enjoying these podcasts, and I would really encourage you to share your own experiences with negativity, because everyone has a different outlook on negativity and kind of the tips to handle criticism, in the comments. So I personally love to hear your stories and tips around, like, how you deal with negativity. Have you had any negativity before? You can share them in the comments on this podcast, or you can reach out on social media. You can also reach out to me on DMs for social media too. I'm happy to talk about them and have a chat. Super cool. But other than that, and yeah, that's been episode 6 of Amplify Your Ambition. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, you can go back and enjoy all 5 episodes, all on your favorite streaming service, wherever you get your podcasts. As always, you can follow me on my social media, JackOKings on Twitter, X, JackOKings on Instagram, and as always, let me know how you enjoyed this episode. Let me know how you enjoyed the short form content that we've been pushing out, and it's super cool to have done this episode about hating. Also, the school cap, which I really, really love. I think it's making a next episode. I'll get some nose tape or something. But yeah, Jack Mosey's he's signing out. But no, I really appreciate the love and support that you guys have given on all the episodes. It has really been a delight and a pleasure to keep making these podcasts, because before we didn't really make podcasts, we just made them and then left them. But now we're like, this is on a grind. But I really appreciate everyone being here, listening, watching, however you consume this.